God, I love doing boat stuff.
Today I am tackling fixing a crack in the hull of the boat that I picked up down in Lake Powell. There it is right there. I picked up this crack when I was putting the boat onto the trailer. It was really windy. I came in cockeyed and I missed, and bam, I got that scratch right now. So I'm gonna grind away. I've been hemming and hawing about what I'm gonna do about this, whether I'm gonna fiberglass or if I'm just gonna mix up some milled fibers into the fiberglass and just do a quick seal, kind of like I did with the stress cracks on the top. Some of the videos say to do a little bit of fiberglassing work. But I'm hoping I can get away with cleaning this thing up with a thin Dremel. I have my Fordham tool. This is a killer tool used in ski racing stuff. I'm not sure if the light is picking that up. I got my little skinny bit here, and I'm just gonna grind away and clean this thing up and see if I can get this thing in some kind of shape for hopefully just milled fibers and resin and not have to do any fiberglassing, but we'll see. I'm also seeing a ton of other stress cracks under the boat. This one's nasty, this chip's pretty bad, and I'm thinking that this is gonna be kind of a test for all that, because I really should tackle all these other things, but I'm not going to. I need a quick one because I wanna go camping this weekend. Today's Monday, I wanna leave on Friday to go camping in Flaming Gorge. So grinding this out went pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it. It's a little bit big right here. I still think I can get away with not using any chop strand mat, and I can just fill this with some milled fiber thickened resin. In the videos, they use a plastic sheet to cover it all. I'm gonna try and do the same thing. We'll see how it goes. Now I gotta get the fiberglass and supplies out and make some moves. Well, I finished the fiberglass work. I thickened up some resin with a lot of milled fibers. I used a ton of it. A little bit of silica thickener, and I got a nice peanut butter consistency. I had to use a lot more catalyst than I thought I was going to, but I actually think that the temperature, even though I'm sitting here in the sun, it feels pretty hot. The thermometer over in the shade says that it's 60 degrees out. So I think there was actually a little bit chilly for the resin. So I ended up using a lot more catalyst than I thought I was gonna use, but I got it to turn the color. It goes from a blue to a greenish. Turn the color, I think we're good. I put this plastic dam over it because that's what I saw on one of the YouTube videos. However, I can tell I'm gonna have a ton of sanding to do to get this thing flat. But I'm hoping I'm gonna get good adhesion. I'm hoping it's gonna cure and be hard. I think it's gonna be a challenge to sand it, but it's done for now, and now I just gotta wait, let it dry, and get my spray gun set up because I'm hoping to spray some gel coat on this thing to finish it up. So we put the kids to bed. I am back out here. It is definitely way chillier than I thought it was, and maybe I shouldn't have taken on this project. However, the repair feels firm enough that I'm gonna pull it off. Now I'm hoping that I can use a razor blade and do a couple like skim coats on this thing to get it to the right thickness, because there's gonna be a lot of sanding if I have to sand it. So let's see if I can razor blade it off and get this done. I definitely can't gel coat tonight because it's too cold, so maybe tomorrow midday I'll get out here and do some gel coating. razor blade and sanding worked fantastic. It really came out nice. Now there is quite a bit of pitting, especially on this bottom side here. Maybe I didn't work it back and forth quite hard enough. I'm gonna hopefully spray some gel coat on this thing and be done with this project after I do all the sanding. So I am back out here, day 2. It's about 2 o'clock. Kids are in watching TV. I was hoping to be able to just go in and gel coat. However, there's way more pitting than I thought there was gonna be. Now, if I had some fairing compound, I would fair this up and it'd be the obvious next step. However, I don't have any fairing compound and I also don't have any money. So I'm gonna mix up hopefully fairly thin peanut butter, resin, polyester laminating resin, and I'm just gonna smear it in a little bit and try and get it really thin, and then come out and do what I did last night, which was razor blade it and sand it while it was still a little bit soft before it got too hard and dry. And hopefully that covers my pitting, and then I can gel coat after that. Okay, so that went really well. I let it set up for about 30 minutes, came out, and it was still just a little bit too tacky to scrape away. I was worried I'd pull out the pit holes. So I gave it another about 10, 15 minutes and came back out and was able to just scrape away with a razor blade, nice and clean. And now I got no more pitting, and I feel really good about adding the gel coat now. I also came out and made my little painting area smaller. Anywhere where I've had a little bit of overspreading of the polyester laminating resin, I left so that I can gel coat, and that'll finish that off, and then when I sand that away, that'll be really good. So I tried to just take where I hadn't hit with any of the polyester resin with more tape, shrink the area down a little more, and now I'm just gonna spray this with some gel coat and hope things go well. I'm back in the garage. We got 2 kids asleep upstairs, and earlier I got the gel coating done, and that was my first time ever using a spray gun, and I couldn't be happier with how this thing turned out. It's really smooth, it's really nice. I'm gonna wet sand this thing down. A little curious to see how big of a lip I have all the way around after I pull the masking, but I'm gonna wet sand this thing and call this thing a project tonight. At this point, I realized that the extra tape I added to make my paint area smaller all stuck to the bottom of the boat. I'm guessing it's because I had cleaned up that part of the boat with the de-waxer and surface prep. So now I get to spend 10 to 20 minutes fixing a mistake I made earlier in the project. Classic. Eventually, I get it cleaned up, and then I move into the 1000 grit, then 1500 grit sandpaper. So there it is, about 9:45 at night, and I am finished. And man, oh man, this came out so good. I am so proud of it. It is so smooth. You can't feel the spot that I repaired at all. I was pretty nervous going into this thing. I thought this was gonna be a lot different than the work I had done up in the structural repair stuff in the boat. But this was super achievable. It came out really well. Even without the fairing compound, I was able to get away with it, no problem. And now I feel a lot better about taking on some of these stress cracks here. You can see that one's pretty gnarly. It's gonna be a lot of grinding and a lot of, I don't know, tedious work, I guess, but like it's super worth it to clean up the boat like this and know that I don't have a crack there anymore, and that that's super solid and gonna hold and gonna be waterproof. So really, really psyched with it. Thanks for watching.